Thank you for watching here on YouTube Live at A Blooming Light at A Bloomies Tribe. If you happen to be logging in live, you are logging in on Saturday, August the 16th, 2025, approximately 6:01 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you're logging in at a later time, a later date, and you ain't trash, thank you for watching. And this is going to go in alignment with the last message, but more streamlined into just this. The topic says, they know that the recruitees are going to get karmic whiplash. They know that from the start, but they scapegoat the target anyway. So it serves them two purposes. They know when they go in getting recruitees, especially these toxic witches and warlocks, these, corrupt secret societies that play with, magic in a negative, or should I say in a out of balance? Because I'm really trying to steer away from like certain words, because it's like, it's really about the beholder, their energy, their intentions, and their whole essence. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a place for everything. So I try to not be that cut and dry. So, but the ones that, as a matter of a profession and practice, this is what they do. There are people out there like that. That's just the bottom line. Okay. So they are intelligent. See, these people, like I said, most of them have been, even if it's a secret to everyone in the mainstream society, except for the group, okay? They have been in the know of all this stuff for a pretty long time, okay? And if they joined covens and cults and stuff, they learned about this, and they've learned the limitations, the standards, the rules, they know, okay? And they themselves have experienced some stuff, okay? And they may not tell you this, but they themselves experienced some stuff. But as typical, what they do is project blame shift onto the target to serve a twofold purpose, okay? So then when they become cult leaders and they start getting groups together, when they recruit, they already know that if anybody takes their bait, that the recruitees will indeed get karmic backlash. I'm going to say it again. They already know. It's almost like a death wish. If you're looking at the screen, it says bonded. They're bonded in death. Some of them know, because of everything they've accumulated in their life already, like it's kind of like, I'm trash. This is going to be the rest of my life, so I might as well go out with a bang. So I really don't care about, I know it's going to affect them, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to play on their ignorance. And I'm going to use this as a way to perpetuate what I've been wanting to perpetuate anyway. It's their fault, misdirection. All of this negative stuff is happening to you because of them. Not because you joined my cult. Not because you took the bargains and deals with me, even though that should be telling you enough why you getting what you getting, but not because of that. You're getting it because the target did something to you. They're bad news. They're bad news. They're a bad omen. They're of the devil. They're sitting there talking to the devil full throttle and incarnate in their face, but they're they're the devil. And the reason why all this is happening to you now, the reason why you're having these attacks and this is happening because you joined the coven, and this person is upset, because we're winning. This person, the target, is upset. And so, it's because of them, and, it's because they're there. And they're, this is why you need to purge. We need to purge. Well, now we get into the zealot energy. We need to purge this evil from amongst thus thou, us. What they ain't telling you is you already talking to the distorted witch, honey. You're talking to them with a Bible. You're already talking to them, baby. They casting spells on you, yes, as I speak. You're already talking to them, honey. And the moment you are willing to take deals, because that's how that vibration operates, shady. But you couldn't see that because you can't see yourself. And they banked on that. And they banked on it. But they know coming in that your ass is going to get some shiznit, because guess what? They ass then got some shiznit for what they've been doing. Hence why they're constantly recruiting. They ass and they people. You hear me? And it wasn't, they've been perpetuating the same shit, like I said. Because the only people who know are the people who know. The mainstream world and any external friends, family members, and so forth, they don't know nothing about it. They're kept, it's called secret society. It's for a reason, motherfuckers. By implication of the word in the front, that the word in the front means that, just like fraternities, if y'all think about sororities and fraternities, they're cults. And there's certain aspects of that the mainstream world knows nothing about, because it's within the covenant of said sorority, said fraternity. Okay? It's no different. This is just, bringing in the element of weird. We run insurance scams, and we do magic on people. We make them sick. We expose them to shit to make them sick. Then we pretend like we want to be their nursemaid. We put insurance policies on them without them knowing. And then, depending on the scenarios and cases around it, we manufacture the end if it's taking too long. And preferably if someone is already sick or elderly, we can really push it, because there's going to be nobody that questions any natural occurrence. Nobody is going to look suspicious at somebody that's got terminal illness. It's going to be one of those things everybody shrug their shoulders and say, well, we knew that it was coming at some point. But they might not even know, well, why did they have it? Did this person escalate their death? Did they put anything in their food? Because ain't nobody going to suspect that. Especially you, Poe. Ain't nobody finna do all that. Ain't nobody finna do all that. Okay? That's fanciful shit that motherfuckers ain't got the money for. So when they die, then it's going to be like, great, so now we can get their insurance. Get this insurance policies, Sally Martin, started, because it's a process, right? Okay, so, and they run different ones on that alone. That's a whole little shindig, whole little gig all by itself. Whoa. Okay. And of course they do target people who, that's on that side of it. They also target, people who may be famous. They target famous people, or, illegitimate children that don't know, because that's another added bonus, because if the person don't even know who, you see what I'm saying? If they don't have a clue as to who they really are, then that also means that they won't have a clue, you know what I'm saying, as to why and who, and, certain folks will be after them, since they don't know who they are. And so that's an added bonus, And then, because to keep that secret, then now if let's say I was Diana Ross's daughter, for fun, for shits and giggles. Let's say I was her illegitimate daughter. Okay, once again, I'm not saying that I have to have proof for those facts, so I'm not going to go there. But for fun and shits and giggles, let's say I am her illegitimate daughter. Her and Sugar Ray Leonard. Now, they got money. They was in the industry. You understand? Now, because you know how funny people get about money, honey. I done learned my lesson about humanity and how they get to acting when it comes down to, you know, property, money, material things, as well as when it comes down to reputations, if that's something that they prize very important. And, you know, the dirty secrets is just not something that they want to have a part of that. Okay, I'm just saying if that's the case. Now, this adds in the element of they can finance all kinds of folks. And the target wouldn't know anything about it. Now, again, just like the other individuals, they too know that these people are going to get it. At some point, they do. Because, I mean, you can't be in that arena for that long. Okay? You cannot be in that arena for that long and run with, you know what I'm saying, certain people that know about all this stuff and actually really believe that in some of these cases, this shit is going to come for you. And that these people are going to suffer for their actions, for participating in hunting down a life like an animal because somebody don't want their little dirty secrets out. Especially if it's a frequency of a being, whether people want to accept this or not. And you can see that's just the bottom goddamn line now. But this is where they gonna learn that. Right here. And they don't care. They don't care. They'll go ahead and, you know, employ and send them people because them people are making choices. They're going to get their own karmic ramification. Whiplash is coming for that ass and they people. For going for an innocent life. It's just the way it is. On a small scale, on a famous scale, in between, everything up and down, kitchen witch to elevated one, everything. You'll get it. It's because it's one thing to, you know, send your kid off because you don't want them. It's another thing to try and kill them. That's something altogether different, honey. It's something to try to kill them or to try to torch their life to death so that they won't ever be anything and you know, put them around a bunch of degenerates that Lord have mercy. And then, you know, people, you know, earth angels, star seeds, because see, the higher energy motherfuckers know what's up. But they have to pretend, they have to keep up their front because that's their cover. Child, whiplash, whoosh. And they'll play stupid. This is why I'm gonna have a big ass, goofy ass. I'm gonna have a goofy ass grin on my face because nobody's gonna be able to say. There's gonna be no being that's gonna be able to say they were not told. Crystal clear, straight up. Nobody is going to be able, not one of them, not one. That's why they're going to be that Seven of Wands reverse. Not a pot to piss in. Because they were all told on several occasions. So these leaders and these officials, they get whiplash. Some of them get to a point like they don't care because there's no way out for them, because, you know, there is a certain point where there's nothing. You did so fucking much for so long to so many people and so many innocent lives, so much blood, there's no redemption. You're shot, you're done. And so when they know they've gotten there, because only they know that, when they know that they don't want to have to suffer, you know, or if even if it's a shot for them, it's kind of going to be like by way of suffrage, and it's something that they can't handle, even though they've inflicted many with this, but it's something that they can't see themselves living through. They feel like it's too much. So what they'll do is just pile on and say, since I'm done for, and there's really no way to redeem myself without having to have atonement or suffer consequences or having to actual develop, I'm just going to make a shitstorm of the rest of my life and taking a few out with me. And I don't care about that. I don't have a moral compass, so I don't care. I do not. I know that they're going to get whiplash. I got whiplash. I'm getting it. I don't care. I am going to blame the targets so that they're oblivious and so that they'll continue to do shit and pile on their lives and continue to do shit for me. They know, and that's fucked up. They know they gonna get it, and they know as they recruiting you, grooming you, fluffing you up, and then they get a little piece of your hair while you ain't looking. Because I'm telling you right now, they doing to you everything that they do to their targets. You just don't know that. Some of y'all might find out and catch a clue before it's too late. While y'all having coffee and meeting, honey, you going to the bathroom. Y'all too trusting to your coven leader. Because they doing to you the things, guess what, they done coached you to do to me. To do the others. You don't think y'all got no sprinkle? I guarantee you they done put some in one of your drinks. If you ever had a meal with them, 100% guarantee. Guarantee you they done took a piece of your hair. If you've let them anywhere in proximity to you, they got something on your body. They done took something, your trash, bitch. They got some of yours, I promise you. And pictures, well, if they said something like this, let's take a picture together, or y'all out and about, oh, that ain't just for fun and shits and giggles. That ain't what it's for. That's for, well, evidence, but it's also to do baneful work with both of you in it. See, it needs to be, it's not just a picture of you, it's about you in a picture with them. Mm-hmm. Ooh, ooh. They know they getting backlash, and that you gonna get it the moment they recruit your ass, and they don't care. They don't care. But you won't see that because they're too busy buying you tacos and PlayStations, and you know they pulled up with a Ford Focus and shit. Y'all, you stargazed. Y'all out there grinning like you in a Thanksgiving parade and shit, going around bragging and shit, hashtagging and shit. Look at hashtag, we made it. That's why they say, and I'm starting to understand why certain sayings are what they are. It's like taking the devil's bait, and certain stuff like you never know, it's right in front of you. It's always seducing. It's always what you least expect. It's always, look just like you. And now I'm really starting to understand the depths of it. Like, oh, so it's opposite. It's almost opposite. We're trained in one way. We're trained, and it's almost opposite. So it's the people, they smiling at you. Y'all better go watch the movies, because I love watching movies to like get symbolism, but it's gonna help like this. Yeah. The Dark Shadow, Mommy Dearest, Run, Misery, Fatal Attraction, Single White Female. And we look at those movies and we love these movies and we watch the plots, but we fail to understand. We know the full drop of it before it's the end. But if you were to put that in real time, in real life, these people be basically chameleoned in their face. They be looking like they're the best friend in the world and somebody that's so helpful and supportive and so dedicated and so honorable. In some cases, that's how they look. Especially Mommy Dearest, that hoe. Her ass. I'm like, damn, that shit really happened and shit in real life? Yep. They don't care. And like all the other groups before, all their recruitees at some point is going to experience it. Now, here's the problem. The recruitees, because of their own woundings and stuff, they just got exploited. That's all. They got exploited. Their own woundings and issues with the target as a result of their woundings, they start to pile on, which then creates them piling on whiplash. You see it? But they're taking on that same mindset, that same narcissistic, because, yeah, it's their fault. Before them, no, this person was minding their business. Let's actually retrace our steps properly and honestly. No, that's not an honest statement. That's not an honest statement. What happened? Oh, this person just wouldn't be victimized. Let's be honest here. Let's say it for what it is. They would not allow us to victimize them. They would not allow us to punk and bully them. Let's be honest. They simply stood up for themselves. Let's be honest. They had the bonus to report things when we were violating them, and when it was let's be honest, because to make a statement that since so and so and so and so all this shit is foul and it's wrong, the truth. We was already foul from the gate. We was already being nosy, and then we got fucking activated because we decided to be nosy and shit we ain't got no business in. So let's not say that it's this person bringing bad luck. It's meddling people, fucking with people, minding their own business. And this person just not simply laying down and taking it. That's what the real 100% real truth is. Conveniently, people are finding causes to hide behind. since the collective came. No, since motherfuckers got obsessed with the collective. Since motherfuckers start crossing boundaries from fucking day one. Since motherfuckers start doing nefarious dealings behind the scene from day one. That's what brought in the bad news in motherfuckers' lives. Period. The end. People crazy. But that's that oblivion. That's that just ultimate oblivion to one's own state of being and actions. It's like roaches that they love to plant in people's houses. But anyway, it's like roaches that prefer the dark. And they're comfortable. And so if somebody walks in and they cut some lights on, the roaches are really not happy with that. They may not consciously understand what the hell is happening, but all the fuck that they know is that they're uncomfortable and they feel vulnerable. And all they can do is blame the light turner on or person. Because the collective of folks ain't done nothing to nobody. I'm going to say that until the end of days. The collective of folks I be talking about ain't done shit to nobody. Half these people, they don't fucking know. They even had encounters really beyond passing and coming and going. Don't know these motherfuckers. So it ain't got shit to do with collective bringing bad news. People are bringing bad news because they can't fucking mind their business. They don't know how to self-reflect. They do not know how to look at themselves. They're full of all sorts of inner child wounding issues, stuffed and hidden behind beautiful packages, degrees, and 401ks. And a shit ton of religion that they can't even fully honor. That's what's wrong. And they don't like that somebody calling that shit the fuck out. Got shit to do with doing something to somebody. That's their department. That's their investments. That's what they do. Ain't even about their personal lives either. Collective ain't got shit to do with that either. Collective don't care. Waiting for people to catch up to that. Don't fucking care. They mind their business. They stay in their place. The only reason why shit out is because they fucking with them, whether people want to swallow that or not. The only reason why shit is happening the way it's happening and the collective is saying the shit they saying is because these people are coming for their life, them and their kids. Period. Every fucking goddamn day. That's why they being exposed. It ain't had shit to do with whatever the fuck else they got going on in life, whether they smoke, drink, party, Christian, Buddha, whatever the fuck life choices that they have a free will to make as their right to do. They ain't no fucking hall monitor, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Old dusty motherfuckers. They ain't no hall monitor. Hiding behind their insecurities and jealousy and dislike of somebody. Oh, I would love to be. I'll be the hall monitor. Teacher, I'll be the hall monitor. The problem is they didn't expect, they thought that the collective was slow. Collective keeps a lot to themselves, and it was meant to be that way on purpose. They thought the collective was slow and unsuspecting, gullible, green around the gills. They thought, yeah, they did, because, well, unfortunately, they were coached by their ignorant. Unfortunately. But see, that's a tell and a reveal in itself. But all that I'm saying is all of the various things that people are not even self-aware of themselves, which is why this works. And which is why, as these cult leaders do what they do, going in knowing, and they already have their contingency plan, that's something else they'll never tell you. I'm not gonna say sorry, because I'm not. But y'all better start thinking practically. Because see, when you want to talk authority and leadership, even in like corporate business and all these things, I don't care if they smiled at you every day and sung and hee-heed and ha-ha'd and sung your praises and sit up there and chit-chatted with you about the hot goss and chit-chatted with you about whoever the targeted individual is, and you sit up there and you told them, and they sitting up there smiling and y'all was just going back and forth. I'm gonna tell you what I know. Masters gonna always cover themselves first. Because if they are backed against a wall and put under pressure, and if a company is worried, y'all better start thinking like corporate. Y'all better, you better figure it out. Because they'll sit there and let you, because they getting information. They'll sit there and smile at you. They'll sit there and let you talk and let you just go ahead and give them all the details and all the goods, because guess what? If they have to, if they fucking have to, even if it's working for them, they're sitting there enjoying it with you because they equally don't like the person, and it's working for them at that time. But I guarantee you, they gonna gather that stuff. And then if they get pushed against a wall and backed into a corner, and fucking regional supervisors, owners, CEOs, whoever the fuck come up in the motherfucker, they gonna be sitting there trying to figure out how they can wiggle their asses up out of that. And then they gonna say, well, you know what? Just gotta love passive aggressive behavior, don't you? Well, you know, I didn't know in totality. I mean, I knew a little bit, and then when my helper here, when she was telling me something, and I was like, oh, okay, and I really didn't go too far deep in it, and she was just kind of, you see how but how innocently it's being put, though. It doesn't look like anything is wrong with that. And then maybe coached or told, well, you're gonna need to do something about this. And then here's your options, because this situation is compromised. This is a compromised situation and it's unethical. So you're gonna have to do something about this. That here are the options, because we can't, these are liabilities brooding in the making here. And they'll let your ass go. And that's another thing to me that's fucked up about all these different scenarios where it's like people be all too ready to join this shit and, you know, ass kissing and saying all this shit, but they themselves are gonna be betrayed. They themselves are. Much like these cult leaders, they know full well your ass gonna get hit. You are getting hit. It's inevitable. You will. It's inevitable. You will. No matter what kind of temporary victory, high in success, because this is how they get people to begin with. But you will. It's inevitable. They all do. And they're going to keep you on a hook to keep you suffering for them, to keep you doing shit. Hell, they're in here now doing shit. These people daily, y'all. And they're getting around, they don't, some of them got a death wish. They don't care because they already know they're done for. So they're just trying to go out with a bang. So they're getting whiplash. But then, I think it's called instigating. It's either instigating, but it's another word where it's like you, is it instigating? Where, you know, you kind of prompt a person, you kind of get them, you know, riled up, you know, to get them to do your deal, your dealings and shit. You know, to get you pumped up, hyped, to do more shit. It's them. Do more shit. They know you're finna get more ass handled. Do more shit. Just keep doing it. Keep doing it. And you know, we already got your car picked out. It's already here. Here, you want to see a picture of it? We already got your new car picked out. It's on its way. It's on its way. And then you can stand in front of them and stick your tongue out like a 4-year-old with a toy. It's on its way. They're sniggling and giggling inside because they're miserable. These people are miserable. Don't let the Mercedes fool you. If they even still got that. They're empty. They're miserable. They're disconnected. Like it came out in a reading, I think. It said something about 4. The age 4 or something like that. And that made me think, it's like, okay, yeah, not even being funny. Like if you wanted to go clinical, if you wanted to go science, if you wanted to lean into that, then it's basically saying something happened. And because they did not take the route in their life at any point to actually deal with it, this is what they've become. They're emotionally a 4-year-old, which you're asking for a nightmare if you give a child power that they are not supposed to be handling. You're asking for a nightmare. You're asking for disaster. You're asking for it when you hand certain things over to somebody who is not mentally and emotionally and intellectually grounded and mature to match the level of power that you're trying to allow them to have and operate in. This is why there will be bullies and, you know, bulldozing motherfuckers, killing motherfuckers, you know, all sorts of shit because they're still there. And it's just packaged nice. They grew up, their physical bodies became curvy and womanly or, you know, muscular and handsomely. You know, they chased accomplishments so that they can have something behind their names. And, you know, they get all of those things. But inside, This is why they're torturing people's kids for hire. Because they themselves are a 4-year-old. They're a 4-year-old. A 4-year-old ain't got no sense either. So they don't have the capacities to know that that's a moral breakdown. They're just people that's in a 1,000-year-old body. They're actually imprisoned. I don't want to get too deep into that kind of teaching on this video, because the real truth of the essence of who they really are, long time ago, they're gone. And all of the step-in energy, the parasites, was governed by the egoic lower, the shadow nature, and then the accumulation of all the things that draws that in. And with each day and each year and each decision and each action, and more and more and more and more, and going down these dark arenas and playing with certain things, and more and more and more, it has consumed. They are not there. They're in prison. They're in prison. Inside. And there's a whole lot of folks out here got death wishes. And they're not going to wear no name tags so that you know that they do. Some people know they done screwed their life so bad that they can't make it. They know that they done screwed not just their life, because life is a learning journey and stuff like that. But some people know that they just were really terrible folks, really bad, and did a lot of skank shit, toxic, baneful, disgusting, unmentionable, unfathomable, foul. And they know it's innocent blood. And that ain't no coming back, because they crossed the line of no return. And because of that, they're taking everybody out with them they can. They're going to have some fun. They're going to continue to attempt to torture these targets, because that's about all the little relief they can get. Because some of them know the ultimate end, and they're not going to tell you that either. They ain't going to tell you that, because then you're not going to be motivated. They know that they cannot defeat the target. They know that it's all just smoke and mirrors and stall tactics that everybody pays for anyway. They know that. And so they just let people come on in and bring in whole countries, counties, cities, governments. They don't care. Churches, because they already know that actually, this is not going to be successful. It's not going to be, we're not going to be able to do it. So we can just have some fun with the torture. We can solve, we can delay, we can do these things. We can do these illusions, we can do these irritants, we can do all of those things. They already know. World, it's time. It's time. Passing the buck and pointing the finger. He did it, she did it. Do we ever look at ourselves ever? And I've accepted, like Carl Jung said, there are some beings that they don't have the capacity to. And We just have to accept that. There's no sitting down at a table. Man, these people should be put in a special place. I ain't even trying to be funny either. It's just because, I mean, that's dangerous. So basically, you got a bunch of adults loose in the world that are for. Playing with magic, causing catastrophes in everybody's life, including their own. They just don't know it until it hits them. It's like a plane of children, but in old bodies, with fanciful shit. Intruding on people, violating people, yet oblivious to it, just like a 4-year-old. Tantruming, falling out, they don't have no sense. And we joke and laugh and smile as we raise our kids, but some of us is just like our kid. Because they're oblivious to their own state. They're oblivious to their actions. They're oblivious to others because that part of them hasn't developed yet. It hasn't come into full online. And they're entitled because they are a child.